This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
Alright, and welcome to the GSMC Sports Podcast. This episode is brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network, and as always, I am your host, Jesse Tapia. Alright, so what's today? It's Tuesday. I believe it's the 27th. Alright, let's see. What are we doing for today's show? We're going to recap the weekend that was this past one in the first segment. The second segment, we're going to recap yesterday's NBA games, which was Monday. And for the third segment, we'll be talking about Kirk Cousins and my little hunch that he'll be ending up with the Vikings. All right, we'll be doing that. I'm going to be talking about Blake Bortles getting a contract extension from the Jaguars. I don't know, maybe we should just do the contract extension in the first segment. We'll see if we have time, because that did happen over the weekend, all right? But nonetheless, I kind of want to turn the third segment into an NFL segment, but like I said, we'll wait and see. Fourth segment, usually we just talk about whatever's going through my mind and anything else. Maybe we could still do that, but we will be talking about the city of Philadelphia, I should say. All right, can't be the 76ers because it'd be considered tampering, I guess. All right, so the city of Philadelphia, whoever paid for those billboards, has billboards up trying to get LeBron to come to Philly. So we'll be talking about that. We'll be making my picks for tonight's NBA games. Probably talk a little bit about anything else going on in the world of sports, too, trying to fit all that in. So, yeah, that's how the show's going to go today. I don't know. Should we do Blake Bortles in this first segment? Yeah, like I said, we'll wait and see how it all ends up. All right, for this first segment, it's pretty much going to be like a weekend recap, but not like anything like too notable. We're going to talk about Sean Miller, Arizona head coach, the whole little FBI wiretap little situation he's got himself in. We'll be doing that for this first segment. We'll talk about Markelle Fultz. There's a video of him shooting the ball, kind of like doing like a turnaround J. Jump shot didn't look too broken there. And we'll be talking about Zaza Pachulia. All right. And like I said, if we got time, we'll talk about Blake Bortles. If not, we'll just move Blake all the way to the third segment. Okay? So let's get into it. So what should we start with? Let's start with Markelle Fultz. Start with some happy news, okay? So like I said, we're talking about Philly in the fourth segment and LeBron. But for this segment, we're talking about Philly and Markelle Fultz. All right? So let's get it started. So there's a video. Got tweeted out by a Philly sports writer, I believe it was. All right? Don't know for sure, but either way, there's a video on Twitter. All right? It's Markelle Fultz. I think it's before a game, working out, shooting around. And he's got like one of the trainers or assistant coaches, whatever you want to call him, like guarding him a little bit, I guess, one-on-one. Fultz spins around once, dribbles a couple of times, spins around again, hits the turnaround jumper, and it goes in. All right. The caption from the reporter was Fultz hitting his shots or something like that. And one thing I noticed was that Markelle Fultz's jumper actually looked like a real normal jumper, okay? It wasn't all robotic. It wasn't like the way he was trying to shoot free throws when he was playing with the Sixers. Then he played with he played with the Sixers for like 4 games this season, remember? He was shooting those free throws all weird, and that was just crazy how Markelle Fultz was playing in NBA games with a bad jump shot. But either way, Fultz, yeah, like you said, the shot looked robotic, looked slow, looked awkward, looked terrible, just as bad as mine was, okay? And in this video, like I said, it looked like Fultz finally learned how to shoot the ball again, so I don't know. Is he going to be coming back this year, or are they just going to have him stay out till next season, all right? I mean, if his jumper is good and he's got confidence and he's not like, there's nothing wrong with his mental side, then I say, yeah, I guess you could throw him out there. But there is a con to that, I guess, or at least a possible one, to where Philly's trying to compete for a playoff spot right now. I think they currently got the 7th seed in the East, and they've been playing like a certain way all year, okay? Ben Simmons has been running the point. You got J.J. Redick out there. Then you got Covington playing the 3, Sarge playing the 4, and Embiid playing the 5, okay? So you're going to be bringing in Fultz. Do you bring him in off the bench, or do you insert him into the starting lineup? And as I'm talking myself through it, I kind of feel like you have to bring him off the bench because you just can't mess with what the Sixers have going on, and especially if you fight for a playoff spot. And I just don't think that bringing Fultz in and making him the starter, like, I guess, yeah, what the plan would be, I guess, if it was me bringing him in this season, I say bring him off the bench to start, And as he keeps integrating himself with the team and all that, pretty much getting used to everything, if he's playing well, then I slowly start integrating him into the starting lineup. All right, because you can't just full on bring him out as we're heading towards the end of the season. I think we got like 20-some games left, about that. No more than 25, I'm guessing, maybe. But either way, like I said, you can't really bring Fultz in and throw him in the starting lineup with the season almost ending. All right, so yeah, there's that going on for him. And I don't know, I kind of want to see Fultz come back this year because of the fact that I just want to see how he plays. He's supposed to be a guy that can score in all three ways, driving in, mid-range, and three-point shot. And I don't want to say we've been cheated, all right, because we're just fans or whatever. They don't owe us anything to put him out there. But it'd be nice to see him out there, see how this whole little mini process works with Fultz, LeBron, I almost said LeBron. Oh, wow. All right, yeah. Didn't mean to say LeBron. All right, it's going in the fourth segment. But I mean, with Fultz, Embiid, and Simmons, LeBron James is going to the Sixers. I already feel it. But either way, getting back to it. All right. Yeah, so just waiting to see how it all ends up with him. And hopefully that, if he does come back this season, turns out well. But if not, I mean, I don't know. I'm not much of a risk taker as far as sports goes. Like, if I put myself in that position or whatever, what would I do? And I think I'd still keep Fultz out till next season. There's no point really in bringing him back this year. I mean, Philly's already playing well, and let's say you bring him back. I mean, like with the whole Fultz situation, like again, we don't really know what truly happened with his jump shot or with his shoulder or whatever. We're not sure if the jump shot caused the shoulder injury. We're not sure if the shoulder injury caused the jump shot problem. And we're not sure if this was all just a huge mental thing and the dude just pretty much was in his own head. Okay, because if he was in his own head, then I think it'd be a bad time to bring him back. Okay, like I said, they're in a playoff race. And if the dude if his confidence was just shook, then you can't really bring him back. 'Cause, I mean, let's say you bring him back in a playoff race and he's not playing as well. That's just going to kill his confidence even more. You got to bring him back next year when it doesn't really mean anything in the beginning of the season, pretty much to get himself going, get ready for it and all. So we'll see what happens with Markelle Fultz. I just wanted to talk a bit about that. All right. Hopefully, if he does come back, I'll be excited to watch the Sixers. If not, then that's fine too. But either way, we'll see. All right. So what else happened over the weekend? Oh, yeah, Zaza Pachulia, once again, going out hunting for ankles, okay? The dude is the dirtiest player in the NBA, okay? I was talking to a friend about it, and he was telling me that if this was the 80s and 90s, then I'd love Zaza. And I don't think that's how they played in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, they were throwing punches, all right? Yeah, Bill Laimbeer and Robert Parrish threw punches at Bill Laimbeer and all that. That's how they were playing, clotheslining people and all that. But I highly doubt, okay? Again, I was born in 96. Don't really remember anything before that. All I have is YouTube and NBA TV to go and look. But either way, all right, I highly doubt you had players, when other players were on the ground, diving at their ankles, okay? I don't think that was the case. Yeah, like I said, they were throwing punches, grabbing you, throwing you to the ground, but Zaza Pachulia looks like, I don't know, I kind of feel like this might fly in the, no, it wouldn't fly with the 80s and 90s, all right? There's no way you could have a player dive at someone's ankles. Again, if I'm wrong and you lived through that time, come tell me, tweet at the show. I think it's GSMC Sports on Twitter. Tweet at that, all right? Or leave a little review. On iTunes or whatever. Leave your thoughts wherever it may be, wherever you can. But I highly doubt that you had guys like that jumping down at people's ankles. Because what he did to Russell Westbrook, I mean, some Warriors fans were trying to say that Zaza Pachulia, like it wasn't unintentional. He got clipped by Nick Young, and that's why he went down. All right, either that's the case, and Zaza Pachulia is the clumsiest player in the NBA and has no business being on the court just because he's that clumsy, or he's just a dirty player. And I'm more inclined to think that he's a dirty player, all right? He's been dirty since he was with Atlanta. He's been dirty when he was with Dallas, and he's been dirty when he was with Golden State, okay? Let me tell you. There's a video on Twitter. Like I said, I can't remember who tweeted that one out. But either way, there's a video on Twitter. It's like a little montage of just dirty Zaza Pachulia plays, all right? Whether it's kicking players or trying to block them from getting past them, or let's say diving at Russell Westbrook's ankles, okay? And I think there was one this year. I can't remember exactly if it was Kevin Durant or someone else where Zaza Pachulia falls back and falls on the dude's leg. I think it might have been it was Paul George. Was it Paul George that he fell on? I think it was Paul George or Kevin Durant. Might have been Melo, or I might just be confused. But I know there was a play this year where Zaza Pachulia, I mean, I guess he was trying to get a rebound, so he falls back for some reason and lands on someone. I got to find out that play maybe in the after this segment. But either way, Zaza Pachulia, dirtiest player in the NBA. I mean, I got friends who are Warriors fans. I was hanging out with them on Saturday. They were telling me how they hate Zaza Pachulia, how he's useless on the court and stuff like that. Doesn't really bring anything to the team. I agree. Why not just start JaVale McGee? And I think they're starting to play McGee a whole lot more. But, I mean, get Zaza Pachulia off the court. And I'm surprised too because the NBA didn't fine him or didn't suspend him. And it's like, okay, if he did this once, then that makes sense. All right, yeah, call it unintentional. But this is like a repeated thing that's happening, all right, over and over and over. The NBA's got to do something before he actually injures someone, all right? Like I said, just get him off the court. There's no reason for Zaza Pachulia to be out there, all right? I don't like him as a player. I mean, as a person, he's probably a nice guy, maybe. But either way, I just don't see what he brings to an NBA team, okay? I don't think he's leading near the top in rebounds unless I'm greatly mistaken. All right, I actually might have to check that. Let's see if we could find the rebounding numbers and see if Zaza Pachulia is there. All right, let me see if I can find it real quick. And if he's there, I guess I got to eat my words. But either way, let's find out real quick. All right, let's see rebounds. If Zaza Pachulia is there, I'm gonna be very frustrated. Let's see, he's not in the top 10. Let's see. Yeah, he brings nothing. Okay. He brings nothing. I don't even know if I don't even think he's top 40. Zaza Pachulia is not top 40 in rebounds. Okay. Yeah, so he's not top 40 in rebounds. All right. There's no use for the guy on the court. No use whatsoever. All right. I don't even think he's that good of a rim protector. I literally just think he might just be a enforcer type player, how they have in hockey, and there's literally no room for that in the NBA anymore. So I mean, yeah, there's literally no use for Zaza Pachulia whatsoever other than, hey, go out hurt Russell Westbrook or whatever. I'm not saying Steve Kerr is saying that either, okay? Actually, let's see if we can find Zaza Pachulia. Maybe he's top 80. Let's see. Is he top 80? No, Kevin Durant's averaging more rebounds than him. Bobby Portis is averaging more rebounds than him. Yeah, so Zaza Pachulia really might not even be top 80 as far as getting rebounds. This is ridiculous. Yeah, I don't even think he's not even top 80. Zaza Pachulia is a center in this league, okay, who gets minutes and is not top 80. All right, yeah, he's not playing 30 minutes a game. I don't care about that. But either way, not even in the top 80 players as far as rebounding goes, okay? So get him off the court. No use. Come on, Adam Silver. Do something, all right? But that's all I'm going to say about that. Now let's talk about Arizona basketball and Sean Miller, the FBI, and a little bit of the NCAA, okay? So we covered the whole little NCAA scandal a little bit on Friday. Talked about it in a segment. And boy, oh boy, all right, is this just starting? And like I said on Friday, there's going to be, I'm not sure what comes from this. I think there's going to be big changes, but I'm not sure, okay? But anyway, let's talk about Sean Miller. All right, so you got, I think it was the NCAA or the FBI came out saying that they had wiretapped a conversation between Sean Miller and one of the agents that's in this little FBI investigation report. And Sean Miller asked the agent, or told the agent, to give DeAndre Ayton the $100,000 so he'd come play for them. All right, I guess DeAndre Ayton was going to go play for Kansas, but Sean Miller upped the price, gave him $100,000, and sure enough, this is how we have DeAndre Ayton at Arizona. Okay, so there's that. Sean Miller, I think, didn't coach a game over the weekend with Arizona, didn't travel with the team. DeAndre Ayton played, and let's just say it's all hitting the fan right now, okay? All of it. I highly doubt Sean Miller comes back after the season to coach Arizona. I highly doubt that he even coaches a college basketball team if he leaves Arizona, okay? Like I said, whatever comes out of this FBI report going forward, because this is just the beginning, like I said, all right? It's not just they came out with something and they're done. There's going to be a whole lot more coming out, and it's going to be interesting to say the least, all right? What's going to happen with the NCAA? How are they going to punish the teams? I mean, maybe some of the programs will leave the NCAA form their own little thing so they can start paying players. I don't know. There's all kinds of possibilities that can come out from this. But as far as Arizona goes, I mean, this is just crazy. Like I said, Sean Miller's probably going to lose his job with Arizona. DeAndre Ayton's gone after this year into the NBA, so he doesn't care. I mean, and one thing I thought about too, like there's a bunch of big name programs named in this FBI report, all right? Not just Arizona, but you got Duke, you got North Carolina, you got Kentucky, you got Michigan State, and all the other ones, all right? You got Tom Izzo not answering questions about this, saying Miles Bridges or whatever. I think they said something about the family meeting with the agent or something like that, but didn't accept anything. I can't remember exactly the exact statement, but either way, getting back to it, I mean, if DeAndre Ayton's getting $100,000, I mean, that's going to mean every other top 10 recruit is getting paid, all right? I'm under the impression, it's just my opinion, that I think that every player is getting paid somehow, some way, okay? Somehow. Duke's got, I think, 3 top 5 recruits, or they got the 3 best recruits in the country coming to their school next year. You're going to tell me that Duke didn't hand them any type of money? Really? All right, because if you got teams like Arizona handing out $100,000 to players, I highly doubt that they weren't talking to Zion Williamson or whoever else that they got saying, hey, we'll pay you this money and you come play for us. But they're like, oh, no, we want to go play for Duke. Why? Because of the culture there? Because it's Duke? Because it's Coach K? I'm sorry, but the times have changed. I don't think that players are going to go play for teams where it's got history and all that. All right, if I'm a recruit, believe it or not, I'm going to where and I'm one of these good players where I can just be one and done. I'm going to go to whoever pays me the most money. All right, because it's not going to affect me. I'm going to get paid. I'm going to be gone after a year. And I know it seems kind of selfish, but I'm sure it's what these players' mindsets kind of are. I highly doubt that these players are turning down money from these programs to go play for the Dukes or the North Carolinas just because they got history, all right? And I'm pretty sure these Duke teams and North Carolina teams are paying too, all right? Maybe it's not Coach K. Maybe it's an assistant Coach K doesn't know about it, or maybe Coach K does know about it, but he's pretty much keeping a blind eye to it. But either way, these guys are getting paid. I have no doubts about this, all right? There's no way, all right, with how pretty much, like, and again, I'm probably just basing this off the whole Arizona thing, but if, like I said, if DeAndre Ayton's getting $100,000, then everyone else has to be getting something like that, all right? So that's all I got to say about that. Not enough time to talk about Blake Bortles and his little contract extension, so we'll push that to the third segment, but that's pretty much the three biggest things, I guess, that came to my mind for the weekend, all right? So we recap those. Next up, we're going to be talking about the NBA games from last night, which was Monday, so stay tuned, and we will be right back.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines. They got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. In that first segment, we pretty much did the weekend recap, talked about whatever caught my eye over the weekend, talked about Markelle Fultz, talked about Sean Miller, and talked about Zaza Pachulia. All right, and believe it or not, guys, I found Zaza Pachulia. He is tied for 92nd in rebounds per game. All right, for context, Steph Curry's averaging more rebounds. So is James Harden. So is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. So is Jason Tatum. So is Tyreek Evans. Let's see. Pretty much anyone that plays is averaging more rebounds than Zaza Pachulia. All right. Again, the dude, I can't be too mean about him, I guess. But let's just say, not a big fan of Zaza Pachulia. All right. Let's see. He's only averaging about he's averaging 4.8 rebounds a game. That's about 0.2 better than Damian Lillard, 0.2 better than Devin Booker. All right. Let's see. 0.3 better than Chris Dunn, 0.3 better than Terry Rozier, 0.3 better than Justin Holiday. All right. It's just, come on. Come on now. What are we doing here? All right. But either way, that's all I got to say about Zaza Pachulia. All right. It's probably the only time we'll ever talk about him on the show unless, I guess, he falls on someone else. So maybe that's the only way he'll get recognition. But either way, let's talk about the games from last night, which was Monday. All right, first up, we had the Memphis Grizzlies facing off with the Boston Celtics. This one was in Boston, and Boston had no trouble with Memphis in this one. They won this game 109-98. For Memphis, you had your Michael Green with 21 points, 11 rebounds, 8 of 12 shooting the ball, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. Marc Gasol had 17 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds, shot 5 of 10 from the field in that one. Andrew Harrison, I wonder what, is it Aaron Harrison? Is that his brother's name? Whatever the other twin's name is, I wonder what he's doing right now. All right, Andrew Harrison, though, had 14 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, shot 4 of 12 from the field, 0 of 5 from the three-point line. For Boston, you had Al Horford with, bad stat line, 5 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 1 of 7 from the field, 0 of 3 from the three-point line. Jason Tatum, bad stat line from him too. 5 points, 3 rebounds, 2 of 8 shooting, 1 of 2 from the three-point line. Kyrie Irving, 25 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 8 of 13 from the field, 5 of 8 from the three-point line. Jaylen Brown had 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Let's see, off the bench, you have Marcus Morris with 13 points, 8 rebounds, shot 6 of 15 from the field, hit 1 3 in that one, missed 5 others. Let's see, Daniel Tice had 12 points, 7 rebounds. Terry Rozier with 15 points, 4 rebounds, 5 of 8 shooting, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. And then classic Marcus Smart shooting game, 6 points, 2 of 9 from the field, 1 of 7 from the three-point line, 5 assists. Didn't watch this game, but I'm sure he probably had a couple of steals too. But either way, Celtics won this one, 109-98. As for the next game, we had the LA Lakers facing off with the Atlanta Hawks. And if you're a Lakers fan listening to this podcast, can you tweet at GSMC Sports and let me know why Lonzo Ball's not in the starting lineup and why Josh Hart is? Josh Hart has been playing well, but I just feel like if Lonzo Ball's supposed to be the future, then throw him out there, all right? But I'm sure there's some type of rationale out there that I don't know, right? Because I don't watch Lakers games all the time. I usually watch them when they come out on TNT, or maybe if they're playing some good team during the week or whatever, I'll stream that. But either way, the Lakers won this one, 123-104. For the Lakers, you had Julius Randle with 19 points, 10 rebounds, 8 of 13 from the field shooting. You had Brandon Ingram with 21 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, shot 10 of 16 from the field. Brook Lopez with 11 points, 3 rebounds. The dude just sits on the three-point line, I feel. Shot 4 of 8 from the field, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. Man. You're 7 feet tall, dude. Go get in the post. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, he had 10 points, 14 rebounds, 4 of 12 shooting, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. Josh Hart, like I said, had 14 points, 2 rebounds, 5 of 9 shooting, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. Kyle Kuzma, not a great game from him, but dropped in 10 points, 9 rebounds, shot 3 of 10 from the field, 3 of 7 from the three-point line. Lonzo Ball had 13 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 4 of 4 from the field, 3 of 3 from the three-point line. And then you had good old Isaiah Thomas with 13 points, 5 assists, shot 4 of 10, 1 of 5 from the three-point line. That's crazy. Isaiah Thomas said he wouldn't be coming off the bench. Lonzo Ball was going to be the starter and all that. Turns out neither of them are starting. Josh Hart took that. That's hilarious. For the Hawks, you had Taurean Prince with 24 points, 7 of 18 shooting, 4 of 11 from the three-point line. Dennis Schroeder with 20 points, 8 of 17 shooting, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. Kent Bazemore had 12 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Then off the bench, you had Mike Muscala with 11 points, 4 rebounds, 5 of 11 shooting, 1 of 5 from the three-point line. These games are getting easier and easier to predict, especially with the teams we're trying to tank, all right? Note, if you're ever betting on games or whatever, I guess you don't make too much money betting for the favorites, but you can always depend on the tanking teams losing, like the Bulls, all right, because they lost to the Brooklyn Nets 104-87. Lauri Markkanen for the Bulls, he had 19 points, 6 rebounds, 8 of 18 shooting from the field. Let's see, you had Chris Dunn with 23 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 9 of 15 from the field. For the Nets, you had DeMarre Carroll with 18 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 6 of 11 from the field, 4 of 7 from the three-point line. Spencer Dinwiddie with the 5.9 assists, 5 rebound game, shot 2 of 6 from the field, 1 of 5 from the three-point line. D'Angelo Russell, bad shooting night from him. Let's see, he had 6 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds, shot 2 of 9 from the field, 2 of 6 from the three-point line. Allen Crabbe, he had 21 points, shot 7 of 13 from the field, 4 of 9 from the three-point line. Once again, the Brooklyn Nets won that one, 104-87. I guess you could say both teams won this one. I mean, the Nets trying to win games since their Brooklyn pick doesn't matter, and Chicago Bulls trying to tank. So I guess them losing means they win too. As for the next game, we had the Golden State Warriors versus the New York Knicks in New York, and Golden State won this one 125-111. Yesterday on the basketball podcast, the GSMC basketball podcast, I should say. All right, go ahead and check that one out too if you haven't yet. But either way, anyways, I was picking the game. I picked the Warriors, and obviously I was right. But I made a pick for who would drop 30 on the Knicks, and they all let me down, all right? Because look at, you had Kevin Durant, 22 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 6 of 10 from the field, 2 of 3 from the three-point line. Steph Curry, he had 21 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 8 of 16 from the field, 4 of 9 from the three-point line. Klay Thompson, I guess, was the closest to 30. He had 26 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 9 of 13 from the field, 4 of 6 from the three-point line. The man that should be starting at center at all times, JaVale McGee, had 10 points, 5 of 6 shooting in that one, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. And you had Draymond Green with the 10 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds there. For the Knicks, you had Michael Beasley with a solid 2.4 rebound, 4 assist game. Shot 1 of 7 in that one. Tim Hardaway Jr. had 14 points, 4 assists. Enes Kanter with 10 points, 7 rebounds. Emmanuel Mudiay with 20 points, 7 assists. Shot 8 of 15 from the field, 3 of 5 from the three-point line. Let's see, off the bench, you had Kyle O'Quinn with 14 points, 6 rebounds. Shot 7 of 10 from the field. Frank Ntilikina. Yeah, Ntilikina, finally learned how to pronounce it. Had 13 points, 5 rebounds, shot 6 of 12 from the field. And then Trey Burke, who has been on fire. 18 points, 5 assists, 8 of 15 shooting from the field in that one of 4 from the three-point line. Then Jarrett Jack enjoying his best life. All right, getting paid and just sitting down watching basketball. Did not play in this one, all right? Jarrett Jack literally went from starting for the Knicks to congrats, you did your job. Now just enjoy the rest of the season, all right? Maybe Jarrett Jack wants to play, or maybe he's just like, I'm trying to collect his last paycheck and trying to get out of there. But either way, shout out to Jarrett Jack. All right, once again, the Warriors won this one 125-111. Knicks got to lose a whole bunch more games if they want to compete with those teams that are trying to tank right now. As for the next game, you have the Detroit Pistons facing off with the Toronto Raptors, and this was an easy pick here. Toronto won this one 123-94. Blake Griffin, he had 12 points, 5 assists, shot 4 of 12 from the field in that one. Reggie Bullock, 14 points, 6 of 12 shooting, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. Stanley Johnson, 2 points, shot 1 of 6 in that one. Andre Drummond had 18 points, 18 rebounds, shot 8 of 18. Lots of 8s there. Ish Smith had 16 points, 3 rebounds, shot 7 of 13 from the field in that one. And then for the Raptors, you had Kyle Lowry with 20 points. DeMar DeRozan says, hey, I want to do that too. He scores 20 points. Let's see, DeMar DeRozan had 7 assists. Lowry had 4, and then Lowry had 6 rebounds. DeRozan had 1. Lowry shoots 6 for 10 from the field, 6 of 8 from the three-point line. I feel like Kyle Lowry takes all of his shots from the three-point line. Every time I look at the stats, it's always most of his shots are coming from the three-point line. Not a bad thing, I guess, but it's just something I've noticed. DeMar DeRozan shot 5 of 9 from the field, 0 of 1 from the three-point line. Let's see, Serge Ibaka, he had 19 points, 9 rebounds, shot 7 of 14 from the field, 3 of 8 from the three-point line. Toronto should still be in first place. I think they're still a half game up on Boston. Detroit, I just noticed too today. I'm not sure how true it is, but I saw on Twitter, all right, that Detroit's still paying Josh Smith money. They think they're paying him $3.5 million to not play for them. All right, I'm gonna double check that after this segment, and then I'll have the answer if it's true in the third segment. But if that's true, that's almost as bad as, no, it's not as bad as the Mets paying Bobby Bonilla $1 million a year to like, what, 2035, I think? That's ridiculous, man. Bobby Bonilla, that's the ultimate American dream right there, all right? Getting paid $1 million a year just to not play baseball, and you retired, what, in the 90s, I feel? So, yeah, these guys are doing sports right, I guess. Sports is the only place, too, where you can get paid this kind of money and not do anything, all right? Let's see, next game up, we had the Phoenix Suns facing off with the New Orleans Pelicans in New Orleans, and the Pelicans won this one 125-116. You had Dragan Bender for the Suns with 9 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. TJ Warren with 23 points, 6 rebounds in this one. Elfrid Payton had 16 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Devin Booker with the 40 points in this one, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, shot 14 of 28 from the field, 3 of 10 from the three-point line. Then off the bench, you had Josh Jackson with 20 points, 12 rebounds, shot 6 of 15 in this one. Josh Jackson's been playing extremely well lately. Then for the Pelicans, Anthony Davis has been on a tear. All right, been playing so well. He's got people talking about maybe possible MVP. And we'll talk about that in the fourth segment because I don't want to talk too much about it right now since, maybe we'll throw it out there right now. But either way, Anthony Davis, he had 53 points, 18 rebounds, shot 16 of 29 from the field. All right. Rajon Rondo had 6 points, 12 assists, 5 rebounds, shot 2 of 9 from the field in that one. Drew Holiday had 20 points, 7 assists, 8 of 13 shooting, 1 of 2 from the three-point line. And let's see, where is I think that New Orleans should be 6th right now in the standings unless they overtook Portland for that 5th spot. Let's see real quick. So New Orleans is currently the 5th seed. All right, if Anthony Davis gets them the 3 seed and he keeps going on the tear that he's at, it's not too crazy for Anthony Davis to go out and win MVP, all right? Obviously, I still think that James Harden would be the front runner, but if they give it to Anthony Davis, I wouldn't be mad at all. All right, and a little bit change in the standings, too. You got the Timberwolves, who are in 3rd place in the East, the 3 seed in the East, I should say. Got to be proper and right. And then the Spurs are the 4 seed. Let's see. Next game up, we had the Orlando Magic facing off with the Oklahoma City Thunder, and OKC won this one 112-105. For the for the Magic, you had Aaron Gordon with 18 points, 7 rebounds, shot 7 of 20 in this one. Evan Fournier with 19 points, 4 rebounds, 6 of 15 shooting in that one, 5 of 9 from the three-point line. Jonathan Simmons had 19 points, 5 rebounds. Nikolai Vucevic with 15 points, 7 rebounds. And then for the Thunder, you had Carmelo Anthony with 9 points, 9 rebounds, 4 of 15 shooting in that one, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. Paul George with 26 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 9 of 20 in that one. And then you had Russell Westbrook, terrible shooting night, 3 of 12 from the field, 8 points, 11 assists, 12 rebounds. And then we had Steven Adams with 16 points, 8 rebounds in this one. All right, so Carmelo Anthony hasn't been having that good of a season so far. He's shooting 34% from the field. And Carmelo Anthony said, when it's all said and done, 10 years from now, whatever, you're not going to remember Melo shot 34% in his first season with the Thunder. And that got me thinking, all right, well, what are we going to remember Melo as? All right, maybe this is something we should push to the fourth segment. You know what? Yeah, we'll push it to the fourth segment. Yeah, we'll do that. All right. That's usually where we do stuff like that. All right, as for the next game, you had the Dallas Mavericks facing off with the Indiana Pacers. Dallas won this one 109-103. Not good for the tank there. For the Mavericks, you had Dirk Nowitzki with 7 points, 7 rebounds. Harrison Barnes had 21 points, 3 rebounds. Dennis Smith Jr., 12 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Let's see. Anything else happen off the bench? You had J.J. Barea with 19 points, 9 assists, shot 7 of 11 from the field in that one. Doug McBuckets had 15 points, 5 of 8 shooting from the field, 4 of 4 from the three-point line. As for the Pacers, you had Bojan Bogdanovic with 19 points, 8 rebounds. Miles Turner had 24 points, 11 rebounds. Victor Oladipo, 21 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, 8 of 13 shooting from the field in that one. As for the next game, we had the Houston Rockets facing off with the Utah Jazz. Houston won this one 96-85. All right, on the basketball podcast, I picked the Jazz to win, and I was wrong, but it's all right. So yeah, the Rockets won this one 96-85. Chris Paul had 15 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. James Harden, 26 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. As for the Jazz, we had Donovan Mitchell with 16 points, 4 assists, shot 6 of 15 from the field in this one, 1 of 9 from the three-point line. Rudy Gobert with 17 points, 6 rebounds, and you had Derek Favors with 8 points, 7 rebounds, 4 of 6 shooting in that one. Let's see, off the bench, no one off the bench really did anything too notable. As for the final game of the night, we had the Minnesota Timberwolves facing off with the Sacramento Kings, and Kings did well. All right, they lost. Minnesota won this one 118-100. You had Taj Gibson with 15 points, 5 rebounds. Andrew Wiggins with 22 points, shot 8 of 15 from the field in this one. Karl Anthony Towns with 26 points, 17 rebounds, shot 9 of 10 in this one. Jeff Teague dropped in 20 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. As for the Kings, you had Skal Labissière with 20 points, 4 rebounds, shot 8 of 11 in this one. Willie Cauley-Stein with 17 points, 5 rebounds. Then he fouled out too. De'Aaron Fox with 13 points, 5 assists. Bogdan Bogdanovic with 11 points, 6 assists off the bench. You had Buddy Hield with 16 points, 5 rebounds, shot 7 of 15 from the field in this one, 2 of 6 from the three-point line. All right, said good job by the Kings because you know what? They're trying to tank, they're trying to lose, trying to get a top pick, so it works out for them. Works out for the Timberwolves too now since they're the 3 seed in the West. All right, so that's how the games went from last night. Next up, we're going to be talking about Kirk Cousins going to the Vikings, possibly. All right, I'm going to talk about why I think that's a possibility and why it actually might happen. And we'll talk about Blake Bortles getting an extension from the Jaguars and why I like that. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA. From the UFC to Extreme Cage Fighting, they got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. In that last segment, we recapped Monday's NBA games. In the first segment, we talked about, we did the weekend recap. All right, talked about Zaza Pachulia. Can't stand him. Talked about Markelle Fultz, and we talked about Sean Miller giving DeAndre Ayton $100,000 to go to Kansas, and pretty much talked about how I think every other top college recruit is getting paid by every other program. All right, might be crazy, probably true though. So for this segment, we're going to be talking about Kirk Cousins and my little hunch that he'll probably be signing with the Vikings, I think, and we'll be talking about Blake Bortles getting a contract extension from the Jaguars and why I like that. All right, but before I told you guys that I would check in between segments and see if the Pistons were still paying Josh Smith. And yeah, they are. All right. Still paying him $3.5 million up until the 2019 season, I believe. All right. And like I said, man, sports is the only place where you can leave your job and your job still got to pay you. At least that's what I think. I mean, I'm only 21, like I said. Still haven't been into the big old corporate world. I really got to work on pronouncing world. All right. That was bad. But either way, yeah, they're still paying Josh Smith $3.5 million. All right. And that's just crazy to think about for me. But either way, they're doing it. Are they happy about it? I'm not sure. I also saw, too, I'm not sure that the Celtics, I think they're still paying Kevin Garnett money, too. So, I don't know. Sports is a crazy business. But either way, let's talk some NFL, all right? It's been the offseason for quite a while. Super Bowl is on February 3rd. We're almost done with the month of February. We got what do we got? We got free agency starting in a couple of weeks, I think. March 7th, is that when it starts? Either way, free agency's coming up in the beginning of March. Then we got the draft in April. Let's go. May is kind of a dead period. June is training camp start in June or July. I think it starts in July. All right, and then we got August. August is what preseason. I don't know why I always call it spring training. Yeah, August is preseason. September is when the season starts. We're not honestly. If you think about it, the NFL really hasn't gone away. Like it really doesn't go away except for May and June. All right, like I said, March we got free agency, April draft, and then May and June, and then boom, back at it, training camp. So in reality, we got like 2 months where we're truly without football. All right, but either way. Let's talk about the Vikings, okay? Then let's talk about Kirk Cousins. I know we've been talking about Kirk Cousins a lot, but he's a story, and he's going to be a story till he goes to a new team. And even then, when he goes to a new team, he'll be a story then, and we'll be talking about it, all right? It is what it is, all right? Don't blame me. Blame other people in the media talking about him, all right? Because them talking about him forces me to talk about him. So here we go. So Minnesota said that they're not going to, or it was reported that Minnesota isn't going to be franchising Case Keenum, going to let him go into free agency, and Teddy Bridgewater will be testing free agency, all right? Teddy Bridgewater testing free agency doesn't mean that he's not going to be re-signing with the Vikings or anything like that. It just means he's going to look at all his options, all right? But with the Vikings not franchising either quarterback, that tells me that they think they have a true shot at getting a guy like Kirk Cousins, okay? And I mean, obviously, if they were to franchise Case Keenum, you try and work out a long-term deal there, and if you try to franchise Teddy Bridgewater, you do the same. But obviously, with them not doing that, they know that there's a possibility with those two quarterbacks could leave. All right, so I really, truly think that the Vikings have all the shot in the world to go out and get a guy like Kirk Cousins, all right? Because let's compare them. You got the Broncos, you got the Jets, you got the Browns, I guess you got Miami, but I still don't understand how or why ESPN is trying to push that a little bit. Not even like really pushing it, but they had a little graphic that they tweeted out, like with 8 teams, 3 of them crossed out, and there's 5 teams left. Those teams, which one is Kirk Cousins going to end up with? I still don't understand how Kirk Cousins ends up with Miami. That cap situation is all bad. I think they'd have to cut Tannehill. You'd have to cut Sue. All right, you got to get rid of, obviously they're going to try and trade Landry. You'd have to do all kinds of things to get Kirk Cousins. So I do not understand that whatsoever. But either way, getting back to it. I think right now the Vikings are my front runner to sign Kirk Cousins, okay? And if they do end up signing Kirk Cousins, I can't say that I knew about it, but maybe we could credit me for it. Maybe, possibly, if that works. All right, we could say that I broke the news about Kirk Cousins going to the Vikings. But either way, I'm not sure if it's going to happen or anything like that. But just like I said, going back to them not franchising Teddy Bridgewater or Case Keenum, that makes me feel that they truly think that they have a better shot at getting Kirk Cousins, okay? Because like I said, I talked about the other teams. I mean, the Vikings have a better situation than all those other teams. All right, they got a better situation than the Broncos. They got a better situation than Miami. They got a better situation than Cleveland. Definitely a better situation than New York. I guess the only incentive for him going to a team like New York is just they offered him all that guaranteed money, all right? But if he goes to Minnesota, that's a Super Bowl contending team. Okay, and I don't think Kirk Cousins is a great quarterback by any means. I think he's pretty good. Yeah, I think he's pretty good. All right, maybe above average is the technical term. All right, but either way, I mean, he goes to the Vikings. Kirk Cousins doesn't have to do too much. Right? You got Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen there. Just put the ball, I guess, 5 feet within Thielen. He'll catch it. All right, just throw the ball up to Stephon Diggs. He'll probably have the cornerback burned by then. You're going to be getting Dalvin Cook back, even if he doesn't play or come back the same. You still got Latavius Murray, who played well at the backfield along with Jerick McKinnon, but McKinnon's going to be a free agent. And then you got one of the best defenses in the league, probably a top 5 defense, arguably. So, I mean, you put Kirk Cousins on there, a guy that doesn't really take too many risks and doesn't pretty much shoot your team in the foot. You're going to get ready to go. So I think that he should end up in Minnesota, honestly. But we're going to have to wait and see how it all ends up. But yeah, that's pretty much just what I wanted to talk about for a little bit there, all right? Because, I mean, that's gotta be what it is, right? For them not to franchise Keenum or Teddy Bridgewater and say, yeah, go ahead, test free agency. Because, like I said, they're testing free agency. There's no guaranteeing that they're going to be coming back, all right? The Vikings truly, absolutely have to think that they're going to be getting Kirk Cousins, all right? And that's one thing, too. Like, can the Vikings talk to Kirk Cousins' agent right now, or is that considered tampering? Like, can agents talk to other teams? I got to figure out how this whole trade business goes down, how this whole free agent business goes down. All right, because it's kind of interesting to see. But either way, as of right now, the pick I'm making for where Kirk Cousins signs is the Vikings, okay? Because if not, I mean, there's that whole other thing, too, that maybe they're just not bringing back Keenum or Bridgewater because they want to bring back Sam Bradford. And that would be the ultimate laugh there. All right, imagine they're not franchising Keenum or Bridgewater because they want Kirk Cousins. They're not franchising them because they think Sam Bradford is the guy. Oh my gosh, that's a possibility too. All right, let's not forget NFL front offices. Yeah, they're all good to have a job like this and stuff like that, but sometimes they just put it into their mind. Yeah, this is gonna work. I'm gonna look like a genius. All right, Eagles are a big thing, so we'll see about that. I highly doubt that they're doing this to get to keep Sam Bradford, but now I'm starting to make myself think about it. No, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. No way it could happen. All right, no way whatsoever. Sam Bradford is a nice little quarterback, but that's it. He's just nice. He's safe. All right, he's a double seatbelt. Okay, but that's all I got to say about that. Now let's talk about Blake Bortles getting a contract extension with the Jaguars. Okay. So I think it was on Friday I think it was on Saturday. Blake Bortles, Saturday or Sunday, all right? Either way, it was over the weekend. Blake Bortles gets a contract extension, a 2-year extension through 2019, I believe, the 2019-2020 season, either one of those. And it's worth about $54 million. I don't think it's all guaranteed or anything like that, but let me say this, okay? I like it. I like the deal, all right? Because Blake Bortles in the playoffs played pretty well. Okay, I'll give him that. I've been one of the bigger Blake Bortles, I don't want to say haters, but what's the right word for this? I don't know. I just haven't really been too sure about Blake Bortles, all right? No clue what the word is. Can't think of it. But either way, just haven't been too sure about the guy, all right? Not sure if he's a good quarterback or not, and I'm not sure if it was just a little mirage for that little playoff run he had, okay? Never really thought that he could sustain that over a 16-game season, but the Jaguars think he can, or at least they're giving him the opportunity to. All right, so I mean, I guess it's like I like this contract, this little move right here, because let's say Bortles doesn't turn out to be a top quarterback, or not even a top quarterback, a good quarterback, okay? I mean, he wasn't even a good quarterback this past season. They still got to the AFC Championship, all right? But yeah, like I said, going back to it, if he's not a good quarterback, then, I mean, I think there's language in the contract where you could cut him after the season. You don't got to pay him that much or anything like that, or anything at all. It's pretty much like a bet on yourself type contract for Blake Bortles. And with this too, I mean, it gives him more time to pay the younger guys. Gives you time to pay a guy like Jalen Ramsey, all right? Gives you a time to pay that Nguyeke, is that his last name on the Jaguars defensive line? I always struggle pronouncing his last name. Let's see if I can find it. And Yannick, is it? Do I pronounce the G? It's Ngakoue. Is it Ngakue or is it Nakue? I think it's Nakue. It's got to be Nakue. All right. Well, either way, it gives you time to pay guys like that and all the other younger guys on your team, right? And if you're paying them, by the time you do that, it's going to be around 2019, 2020. If Blake Bortles doesn't work out, you go and draft a quarterback. You're not going to have to pay for another 4 years. All right, this was a genius move by the Jaguars. Right, everyone was hating it. Everyone's being too short-sighted about it. Okay, think long-term with this. The Jags are an extremely young team. All right, they're going to be good for years to come. All right, with or without Blake Bortles playing well. Like I said, they got to the AFC Championship. Yeah, he did play all right in the playoffs, but, I mean, you got to get to the playoffs then either way, and he didn't play well all season, okay? So I like the move. I think it's going to work out well for them. Like I said, best case scenario, Blake Bortles works out. Worst case scenario, you get to pay all those other younger players and draft a quarterback in 2019 or 2020. So, I mean, real smart move by the Jags here. So that's going to wrap it up for this segment. Next up, we're going to be talking about we're going to talk about Carmelo Anthony. We're going to talk about LeBron and the possibility of him being in Philly. All right, we're going to make my picks for tonight's NBA games, which is Tuesday nights, and we'll see if we get some soccer in there too. So stay tuned, and we will be right back.
Are you looking for help for your fantasy football team? Check out the GSMC Fantasy Football Podcast. Get today's best advice on who to start, who to sit, even who you should draft. From sleeper picks to red-hot lineups, they got it all covered for you. That's gsmcpodcast.com/fantasy-football-podcast. We'll cover traditional leagues, dynasty, PPR, even IDP leagues. When you need fantasy help, there's just one show to hit up. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
GSMC Sports Podcast. So far today, we did a little weekend recap. Let's see what else we talked about. We talked about the NBA games from last night, talked about Blake Bortles and the possibility of the Vikings getting Kirk Cousins. And for this segment, we're going to be talking about what we think of Melo what we're going to think of him when he's all gone, when he's gone. Not talking about like when he's gone, when he's retired, all right? Talking about LeBron and the possibility of him being in Philly, and we're going to make my picks for tonight's NBA games. All right, so that's how it's going to go for this fourth segment. So let's talk about Melo, okay? Let's talk about Melo. So Carmelo Anthony is a weird player, okay? Has all the talent in the world. Could have been one of the best of all. No, I almost said something really bad. All right, could have been one of the best. His position, maybe. I was going to say all time. I almost did that. Wow, I almost said Carmelo Anthony could have been one of the best of all time. Maybe he could have. I don't know. He had talent. But either way, it could have been, I think, a greater player as far as legacy and all that goes than what he is thought of now, okay? Because Carmelo is like I said, he's just a weird player. It's either you think he's a great player, a top 10, 15 player in the league, or you don't, and you're like me, okay? Let's see if we can name 15 better players than Carmelo Anthony. All right, I think we can. I'm going to go try and go team by team. I'm not even going in order, all right? So Boston, Kyrie Irving. All right. When we consider Gordon Hayward better than Carmelo Anthony, I don't know. Joel Embiid's better. I'll take DeRozan over him. That's already 3 players. Will I take Lowry? I'm not sure. We're going to have to go through. I'll take LeBron over him. I will take Blake Griffin over him. I will take Giannis over him. That's 6. And we're just in the East right now. I'll take John Wall over him. Durant, Clay, Steph, Draymond. That's already 11 players I take over him. His teammates, Russell Westbrook, Paul George. That's 13 players right there. Let's see. Harden, Paul. All right, that's 15 right there. Kawhi, 16. Davis, 17. Boogie, 18. Jimmy Butler, 19. Towns, 20. Oh, my gosh. Lillard, that's 21. McCollum, that's 22. I'd say 22 players in this league are better than Carmelo Anthony. So Carmelo Anthony is a top 25 player, all right, as of right now. And yeah, I know I was counting players with injuries, but I also think they're better than him, even when they're healthy, all right? So get over it. It is what it is, all right? Carmelo Anthony, he's never done anything in his NBA career. He truly hasn't. All right? And you can't count the Olympics as part of his NBA career. That's his Olympic career, I guess. But he has never really done anything as far as in the NBA. Yeah, he was a good scorer, but he didn't win anything. All right? He never went out, made it past the second round of the playoffs, I don't think. All right? I guess you would consider him more of a headache than a great player. All right? With Denver, had a bunch of great teams. That team just never really got past the over the hump. With the Knicks, I mean, that was the most overrated team of all time. I can't stand the Knicks, too. Either way, though, I mean, like I said, Melo, like when he retires, obviously he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But I don't know. Like I feel like he could have done more with his career. It's just, can we consider Melo a me type guy? Is he an individual type player? A me guy? I think we can consider that. Can we? I don't know. That's kind of tough there because I feel like there's a lot of stuff that comes into this whole Melo thing, all right? With the Knicks, he never really had anyone good. With Denver, he did have a good team, but it just, like I said, just never got over the hump. All right, and now with the Thunder, I mean, he's just not having a good year. Like, Melo is just Melo. That's it. He's not one of the best, not one of the worst. He's just an NBA player who had a nice career. Yeah, that's it. He's just a guy who had a nice career. Gonna be a Hall of Fame. I don't know. Is Melo a Hall of Famer? Are we gonna allow his Olympic stats in there too? Because if you put it in simplistic terms, let me see if I can find Melo's career averages, and maybe that'll change my mind there. All right, let's see. I really want to believe in Carmelo Anthony. Let's see if we can. All right, let's look at his stats right here. Carmelo Anthony's stats. Let's see real quick. Because I mean, I don't know. Like let's see. He's averaged 24 points, 6 rebounds, 45% from the field, 34% from the three-point line. All right, 81% from the free throw line. I guess, yeah, those are Hall of Fame numbers, but, I mean, 10-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA, 2012 scoring champ, 2003 All-Rookie team. So I guess, yeah, that's good enough to get you into the Hall of Fame. I mean, if I think Stephon Marbury might have a chance at the Hall of Fame, I guess you got to say Melo's in there for sure. So, yeah, I guess Melo's a Hall of Famer, but I don't know, I feel like he could have did so much more with his career, all right? I think he really could have. But that's, I guess, all I'm going to say about that. So let's talk about, let's see, did Melo come out in 2003? I think he did. Yeah, I think he did come out in the 2003 draft. So let's talk about the player that's better than Melo in that 2003 draft. All right, LeBron James. Man, that's crazy. The Pistons passed on, they didn't pass on LeBron. I think they passed on Melo. I think they passed on Wade. They passed on Bosh for Darko Milicic. Man, Detroit, you guys stink. Either way, all right, let's talk about LeBron. Okay, Philly, the city of Philadelphia, or whoever paid for the billboards, put up billboards, 3 of them. One of them has Dario Saric's number, Joel Embiid's number, Ben Simmons' number, Robert Covington's number, and LeBron James's number. Okay, and it's like kind of lined up on a little, I guess like you said, on a little clipboard type thing where it's got the court on there and stuff like that, pretty much lined in different positions. Okay. So obviously that's one billboard, and then you have one with saying "Come LeBron, come to Philly," and then the other one says "Complete the process." All right. So obviously, the city of Philadelphia wants LeBron James. All right. Obviously, the Philadelphia 76ers can't say they want LeBron James because that's tampering. All right. So what do we think about LeBron James going to Philly? LeBron James going to Philly? I think that's a very high possibility. All right. I think there's a higher possibility of him going to Philly than it is LA. All right. Both good media markets, both good cities to market, do marketing and stuff like that in. But I feel one's got the better younger team than the other. All right. I'll take a core of Simmons and Embiid over Paul, over Ingram, over Kuzma, over Randall. All right. I will take those 2 guys over what the Lakers got. Those 2 guys are franchise players. All right. Plus, you got a Markelle Fultz to where, I mean, maybe a guy like LeBron could work with him. All right. Fix up his shot, get his confidence up, something like that. All right. LeBron goes to the Sixers. He doesn't have to do everything. All right. He could play off of Embiid a bit. The only problem I see with LeBron going to the Sixers is how it works with Ben Simmons. Okay. Because Ben Simmons with the ball is a great player. Ben Simmons without the ball might be a bit useless because the dude can't shoot to save his life, all right? He can't sit on the outside on the wing like Kevin Love, and LeBron can't dish it out to him because he's not going to be able to score, all right? The NBA now isn't how it used to be. You can't have two players playing in the post. You got to have one like Joel Embiid, and then you get the rest of your players are out there on the three-point line. It's looking like, all right? Ben Simmons has no shot whatsoever, all right? And for him to develop a shot would take a few years. I don't think LeBron has a few years to go out and win a title, okay? I think LeBron, and again, I'm just giving my opinion of it or whatever. This isn't no concrete fact or anything like that, but I think LeBron would be more inclined to go out and find a team to where he could go and beat the Warriors now rather than later. All right, because with LeBron on the Sixers, that team still isn't better than the Warriors. LeBron on the Rockets, that team, it's a toss-up between who wins that series, okay? And I think that, like I said, if his goal is to go out and win championships within the next few years, then you go to the Rockets. If your goal is to go with a team and have them develop and then beat the Warriors after a few years, then it's the Sixers, okay? But like I said, I just don't like the fit there. And even with Markelle Fultz, I'm not sure what type of player he is off the ball. I'm not sure if he's a player that can play the two position and pretty much just, if LeBron gives him the ball, LeBron gives him the ball. You got three players who are probably better off with the ball in their hands, talking about LeBron, Fultz, and Simmons. Simmons especially, all right? Simmons is at his best when he's out there playing the point guard position. Fultz, I'm assuming, is at his best when he's playing the point guard position. LeBron is at his best when he's playing the point guard position, all right? So it's going to be tough if that to make it all work, I feel. All right? They'd probably be a top two team in the East, probably be better than Boston, all right? I'm not sure if they'd be much better than Boston with Gordon Hayward coming back next year, but either way, they'd be a great team, and they'd be a team, like I said, top two team in the East for sure. Arguably, you could say number one, but we don't know because it hasn't happened yet. As of right now, LeBron plays on the Cavaliers. And that's one thing too, all right? The Cavaliers, we need to pump the brakes on them a bit. I think we might have jumped the gun a bit on them as a whole in general because you know what? They gave up 110 points to a Spurs team that's only been averaging about 101, 102 all season long, all right? That doesn't show me that your defense is fixed, and George Hill has yet to play a decent game with the Cavs, all right? So we might need to pump the brakes as far as crowning them Eastern Conference champs already. But that's all I got to say about that. Now let's make my picks for tonight's NBA games, all right? Let's see, what do we got going on today? Yesterday we had a bunch of games going on too. Let's see, today we got the Bulls playing the Hornets, the Nets playing the Cavs, the Sixers playing the Heat, the Wizards playing the Bucks, we got the Wizards playing the Bucks, Kings playing the Blazers, and the Clippers playing the Nuggets. That's going to be a fun one. That's probably going to be the game of the night right there. Maybe the Sixers and Heat. Yeah, so let's get into it. All right, so we got the Bulls facing off with the Hornets. Again, these picks are going to be easy, okay? Bulls are trying to tank. Hornets are favored by 11 in this one. They're 17-15 at home. Bulls are 7-23 on the road. I got the Hornets. Then for the next game, we got the Nets playing the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers would be extremely better off beating the Nets since they have their pick, so I'm going with the Cavs, all right? Cavs 20-9 at home. Nets 8-20 on the road. Imagine if the Cavs were to lose this game, though. Imagine. Ooh, the media world would blow up a little bit. So, yeah, we got the Cavs winning that one. Then we got the Sixers facing off with the Heat. Sixers are a bad road team, 13-16 on the road. Heat are a decent home team, 15-12 at home. Miami's favored in this one, but Dwayne Wade has been holding that team back ever since he got there. All right, averaging more shots than what's his name, Josh Richardson. I think he's got a higher usage rate than anyone else on that team already. That's what my biggest problem with Dwayne Wade going to Miami was, is that I said that he needed to pretty much fall in line with that team. All right, you're not the Dwayne Wade you used to be. You're just a has-been now, and sure enough, he's trying to take over on that team. All right, Dwayne Wade needs to take a step back and chill out, but I don't think it's going to happen. So, you know what? I'm going to go with did the Sixers play yesterday? I don't think they did play yesterday. Let me double check. I think they did. Did they? Let's see. Did they play yesterday? They did not. All right, so I'm going to go with the Sixers beating the Heat. All right, the Heat are in a bit of a basketball purgatory. Going to be finishing as the 8th seed most likely since Detroit stinks. But, and that's going to be bad for them since they're going to have a lottery pick. But, I mean, it's just a matter of them having a great coach, and that's why they're already out here in the 8th seed. But I'm going to go with the Sixers in this one. I think they're going to play well. I think they're going to pull it out. Then we got the Wizards facing off with the Bucks. Milwaukee's 19-11 at home. The Wizards are 17-14 on the road. The Wizards have been playing extremely well without John Wall. Again, don't think they're that much better without him. I think you need him for the playoffs, but I'm going to go with the Bucks in this one since they have such a good home record. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Bucks. Then we got the Kings facing off with the Trailblazers. Kings are trying to tank. Trailblazers aren't. Trailblazers 17-11 at home. Kings are 10-22 on the road. And believe it or not, the Kings have a better road record than they do home record. That's brutal. So I'm going to go with the Trailblazers in this one either way. Then for the final game of the night, we got the LA Clippers facing off with the Denver Nuggets in Denver. Denver is a great home team, 24-8 at home. And then that means they're 9 and 19 on the road. Then you get the Clippers, who are 15 and 15 on the road. Denver's favored by 5 in this one. Nikola Jokic has been playing like a monster. I'm going to go with the Nuggets in this one. They've been playing extremely well. No reason to pick against a great home team, right? So just to recap my picks, I got the Hornets beating the Bulls, the Cavs beating the Nets, Sixers beating the Heat, the Bucks beating the Wizards, Trailblazers beating the Kings, and Nuggets beating the Clippers. I think only one upset pick tonight, and that is the Sixers over the Heat. All right, Heat are favored by 1 in this one. So that's going to wrap it up for today's show. Today in the first segment, we did the weekend recap. Second segment, we recapped Monday's NBA games. Third segment, we talked a bit about Blake Bortles and Kirk Cousins, possibly going to the Vikings. And then for this segment, talked about Carmelo Anthony and his NBA career. Talked about LeBron James and the prospect of him playing in Philly, and then made my picks for tonight's NBA game. So thanks for listening to the GSMC Sports Podcast. As always, I am your host, Jesse Tapia. We'll be back tomorrow, so stay tuned till then, and we will talk to you later.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.